Can you throw some more light on what exactly is expectation? Does it have different dimensions?
Expectations means the frame of reference that I have for relating to the other person. That's the frame I keep.
Namaste. Welcome to this week's episode of Wellness Wisdom. Today we talk about expectations leading to emotions and specific emotions. Welcome, Sir Shri Ishwaran. Namaste. Sir, last episode we spoke about how emotions like attachment lead to expectation. Can you throw some more light on what exactly is expectation? Does it have different dimensions?
Yeah. Expectations means the frame of reference that I have for relating to the other person. That's the frame I keep, reference point for me to how I am going to establish my relationship with you. This is the basic idea about what is it. And in expectations, there is a issue there. The first issue is, if your expectations were met, your life will become boredom. If your expectations are not met, life becomes frustration. So, when you have expectation, only two choices you have. Either it will be met or not. If it is met, boredom. If it is not met, agitation, frustration. Either case, you are in trouble. This is one side. Another aspect of it is, there are certain fundamental laws exist about expectation. Law number 1. Don't get angry with me because these laws are not made by me. Okay? Your expectations will not be met. This is the law of expectations. It's exactly like if you put your finger in fire, it burns. If you have this understanding, it leads to next ideas. The first thing we understand is your expectations will not be met. Number 1. Number 2. All your expectations will appear to you justified. All my expectations will appear justified for me. Fuse these two things. Your expectations will not be met. All my expectations will appear justified for me. Therefore, life will appear unjust. This is the problem of expectations. So when I have expectations, the problem is boredom or this. For any reason, when that expectations were to be met, immediately my expectations gets escalated. As soon as the child gets 80 marks, immediately mother's expectation increases. What is it? 85. Now that you have scored 100 in mathematics, you can score 100 in physics also. You see, the moment someone were to live up to your expectations, immediately you start expecting more. You see, for so much, this is where expectations becomes a burden for people. And if you had to take a stand that, sir, what about people expecting things out of me? What should I do? You are not living your life to fulfill others' expectations, because it will be frustrating to you. Be a height of frustration in life, because you will feel that I am exerting myself so much to satisfy you, and immediately you raise the bar. So in my eyes, I will always appear I have never satisfied you. You see? So that's the problem of expectations. So that is why we say beware of these expectations, because expectations always appear justified for you. It will not be met. It's a law of life. Nothing can be done. You can't change it, I can't change it. So we say beware of expectations.
Right. Expectations stemmed from attachment. Attachment was an emotion which clouds itself as love, and that brings us back to the whole concept of emotions. Then does it mean we should not have emotions?
No. If you are not having emotions, you are not a human. What defines a humane, is the presence of these fine emotions, the fine sentiments. The problem for most of us is the moment we say, don't be emotional, immediately we think you should not have any emotions. See, to have emotions is a virtue. To become emotional is detrimental. Meaning, do not act directly on those emotions. That's all we are saying. In fact, when you start becoming a better human being, as you keep growing in your wisdom, you will not be emotionless. You will not have the negative emotions. You will have less of negative emotions, less of gross emotions, less of surface emotions. As you gain wisdom, you will have subtle, fine, deep emotions. Now, for a third person, if you are not expressing it, they will think it is not there. Because for all of us, if I have to, like we discussed about assessment, right, earlier. Assessment, you assess a person based on what? Based on their behavior only. Because only that is visible to your eyes. That's why I said you need intellect to see beyond visible. What is beyond that perceptible action, there is something behind it. What is it, sir? That is the emotion. Now, subtler the emotion, deeper the emotion, difficult it will be to find gross expression. Like for example, you will find this, a couple who lived so close to each other for a long period of time. I myself have seen this. One of my uncle, his wife passed away. All that, 3 streets away, fellow comes crying, ayo, 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 they are coming and crying. This man is just sitting, looking at the vacant air. And we could see in his eyes so much of morose, so much of sorrow, so much of pain. But not a drop of tear. So many had come there and told him, please cry. Please cry. And, we had a talk with him after a few days. I said, why you didn't cry? He said, I tried. You think I didn't try? I tried, but I couldn't. It's not that he is a constipated personality, remember.
Correct.
See, it's not like that. He is very expressive, but the sorrow is so deep. He was so moved by that sorrow, he couldn't even express it. Now, if expression is not there, we think the emotion is not there. That's why we say nowadays, if you want to have a good relationship between husband and wife, what you should do? 5 days, 5 times a day, you should call your wife and say, I love you. So the secretary comes at 3:30 and reminds this fellow, sir, you have to call your wife. Oh, he picks the call and says, love you honey, puts a phone back. It doesn't work that way. Because if a person says, I love you, I love you, I love you, if he is not saying, we think it is not there. Deeper the emotion, subtler the emotion, difficult it is to express. Therefore, people think that emotion itself is lacking. So we think that person to be emotionless. No, no, no. He is the one who is having true emotion, true love, compassion, or all those emotions he experiences. But the nature is so deep, cannot express. Doesn't find expression so easy. So these are the reasons why we have this problem of emotions expression.
How do emotions express, especially emotions like anger, fear, and where do they come from? What are they?
Right. If you're asking the root of positive emotion, the root of negative emotion. All positive emotions such as love, gratitude, kindness, compassion, etc. All these emotions have a common root cause, that is wisdom, knowledge of life and living, understanding of the higher. From there, the whole thing flows. And when you come to the negative emotions such as fear, anger, jealousy, etc., all these negative emotions have one root cause, that is attachment, desire. Now, we'll go to the genesis of it. Follow this carefully. I'll give with an example, then it will become a little easier. Okay? A boy meets a girl the first time in the classroom, college, let's say, meets. He has never seen her earlier. He doesn't know the existence of that person. He met her. And they introduced. A thought pops in his mind. Ah, looks nice. Right? Thought comes. Then during the break, they speak. Hi, what's your name? And she speaks. And he immediately gets another thought. Wow, she has a nice smile. Huh? She has good language. She has good dress. This gets thoughts random. Okay? And as the thoughts keeps occurring in him, in his mind, he goes home and starts reliving those things again. Next day he comes. First thing he looks in the classroom is what? Is she there? Then he goes and sits next to her and starts having a conversation. What is it, sir? Again thoughts. Gets added, gets added, gets added, gets added. As the thoughts gets added, takes about a month or two. In the example I'm saying 2-3 months, but sometimes it can happen in matter of one day also. After 3 months, one day he walks into the classroom, she is not there. Now, how he will be in the class? He is not able to focus what the professor is saying. He is oblivious to what the friends are talking. He is feeling so discomfort in the classroom. Next day he comes. No, she is not there. He is sending a message to her. She is not responding to it. He is checking her Instagram. She has not posted anything. 3 days, no news. So much of agony for this fellow. 5th day she comes to the class. And he sees her. First reaction of his is what? Pada. Now, This is the second stage. The first stage, thoughts entertained. Second stage is where the stage what we call as Sangha, association. Association has happened. Association established. What is association stage? A stage is where in the presence of that object or being, I am happy, normal. In the absence of that object or being, I am disturbed. And I don't want to be disturbed. I want to be normal and happy always. When that will happen? Only if that object or being were to be always in my presence. You see the reasoning? Very simple. This is the stage where I start seeking to acquire it. A state of desire, we say, kama. So first stage, musing. Second stage, association. Third stage, desire. Exactly like how the river builds. Starts with the trickles here and there. Innocuous thought here, thought there, thought here, thought there. Like that, trickles collected, forms a small stream, and then the streams gets collected, you see a torrential river flowing. Once that desire picks up, once that karma picks up, immediately the byproduct of that is all these things will happen. First thing will be the problem of anger. When do I get angry? Go back to the same story. Imagine one more person in that same college were to be coming in and meeting this girl frequently. Now what happens to this fellow? How he will look at that boy? Right? He gets angry with this fellow. Why? Because his thoughts were running towards this girl. When he intercepted that thought flow, by de facto, the thought will get redirected to this interruption. This deflected, redirected thought current is what is known as anger. Therefore, you can never have anger anybody can experience in the world without desire. There is a desire and that desire is interrupted. A person has a desire to keep things clean. If someone comes and makes it dirty, what happens? I get angry. Why I got angry? Because I have the desire for cleanliness which is interrupted. So, anger is desire interrupted. So, anger is desire interrupted. Suppose there is no interruption. Ishwaran, no interruption in this case. He proposed to the girl also agreed. Now what happens? We think, oh, problem solved. Problem only starts now. The moment I acquire something, instantly I develop a fear of losing it. The fear of failure is experienced only by the one who has tasted success. One who has never tasted success will never have the fear. People used to ask me, do you have any exam fear? I have never had the fear of exams. Because passing itself is such a great achievement. What is the problem? No fear. Whereas I have seen my friend who used to get class first. He came state first. He had tension. I go to that exam so relaxed. He comes to that so much of tension. I said, why are you scared of exams? Why? Because he has tasted success. You see, the moment I acquire something, now that I have acquired some name, I should not lose it. Now that I have acquired some fame, I should not lose it. Now that I have acquired some money, I should not lose it. I have acquired a reputation, I should not lose it. Anything you acquire, your desire gets fulfilled. First casualty is fear. If you escape fear, you say, Pada sir, no fear sir. Another problem, what is it? You will ask for more. Greed. So either fear or greed. If you escape greed, always with whatever we have acquired, you will find there are two sets of people in the world who have something better than you and people who have less than you. I get a car, I will always find a person who is having a bigger car and a smaller car. So that's what happens to all of us. When we drive in Bangalore, road rage. What is road rage? I am driving at 40 km speed. I see someone driving at 60. I say rash driving. I see someone driving at 20 km speed. I can't understand why these fellows come on the road. Get out of the road. Who is the standard? I am the standard. Suppose if I drive at 60, then everybody should drive at 60. If someone drives at 40, someone drives at 80, problem. Remember, the moment you have your desires fulfilled, you will get into arrogance or jealous. Jealousy towards people who have more than you, arrogant towards people who are less fortunate. So you have desire, interrupted, anger. Fulfilled, fear, greed, arrogance, jealousy. Got the problem? So much of problem that we get into because of desires. That is why Buddha says, desire is the root cause of suffering. Desire is your enemy, says Krishna in the Gita. All the masters have said in one voice, the problem of humanity is desires. Drop it, they say.
What a beautiful explanation, sir, for how we come about to experiencing emotions like anger and greed, jealousy, all from one aspect of desire. I think we've really benefited. Thank you so much. Namaste. Namaste. As we close down our episode for the day, stay with us when we come back with our next episode of Wellness Wisdom.
Click on the bell icon to watch our latest videos.